Okay, so 6-foot medium duty cutter, 22-foot trailer. There's Mr. Bad Cat. DK 5010 shuttle ship, canopy, pallet forks. And on the top of the pallet forks we strap the bucket. And Cat's gonna leave at midnight-ish Saturday night. See you Sunday morning, late morning. Thank you.
So we got a Kioti DK 5010 with a KL 5520 loader on it. We sat in a lot of tractors. It was kind of hard because there was like tiny tractors and then there was like big tractors, and we needed like the middle tractor, like Goldilocks. It just so happened we were trying out some New Hollands, which I didn't like. They couldn't really turn. And I saw a Kioti sitting there, and I'd never heard of a Kioti brand before. But they've been around for a while. And kind of pound for pound, this tractor, with it being kind of like a nice size, because not only do we have a lot of grass to mow, but we also have barns and stuff, and so you don't want something too big or too kind of awkward to go in and out. So sat in this tractor, and it kind of gave you a nice feel. It is, I think they call it the shuttle shift. Being a manual, which is kind of nice, so it's 50 horsepower. On the PTO, we have 46 horsepower, which is really good. You don't lose a lot of your horsepower with the manual. And then we have the loader, which can hold up to 2,400 pounds and change. So it can pick up round bales, no problems there.
Which is rare for this size of tractor.
Yeah, well, and where we were kind of running into a problem was, for instance, the John Deere's, their loading capacity on their loaders was 600 pounds less. They didn't even have this size of tractor. They had their 3 series, which is smaller, which is like my dad's, and that could only pick up 1,100 pounds. That's a little dicey. And then the next series, which is their 4, which is huge, but it was actually a lighter tractor, and I really didn't like, it just didn't give me a good feeling in it. That tractor, even though it was much bigger than this tractor, could barely do what this tractor could do. So I was like, why are we going to get such a big tractor, which would be kind of awkward to have, when something a little bit smaller, still powerful enough to kind of do all of the above, kind of like the nice all-around tractor where we weren't too big or too small and needing another tractor. It's all metal, there's not a lot of plastic parts on it. The shifting is really nice and smooth. We sat in the Kubotas, the John Deere's, the New Holland. We sat in the John Deere's a couple of times, and the Kubotas. And no matter how many times I sat in the Kubota, I hated it. I know everybody loves Kubotas. I honestly don't care what kind of tractor it is. If it drives well, if it does the job, and it's well built, that's all I kind of care about. The other thing where this tractor kind of stood out was the warranty on it was for 6 years. That was on the powertrain, was for 6 years.
And then 2 on bumper to bumper.
And then a 2-year warranty on bumper to bumper. So that far exceeded anyone else. For us, it was the size and the weight of this tractor. It's a heavy tractor. This tractor right here weighs 5,000 pounds. You need that weight when you are lifting heavy things. So I just think they did a really good job. And in doing research and watching a lot of YouTube channels with a lot of people's experience, for the most part, their complaints weren't too bad. Another really good thing I liked about the Kioti was you have a skid steer type of attachment, so a quick bucket release. So it's not like, for instance, John Deere has only like a proprietary bucket. So while that bucket comes off, you can only buy like John Deere style stick. versus with this tractor, if I needed, well, we've got pallet forks, but if we needed some type of attachment, say for instance I have a client who has a skid steer, I could just borrow it if I needed to, or what have you. Another cool thing about this tractor as well is the front end loader can also detach relatively easily, which is pretty handy for if we don't need the bucket, if we're doing a lot of bush hogging. And also it was really nice. You could open up the hood, the accessibility to a lot of the parts that you need to work on. The turning radius on this tractor was pretty nice. Like I said, I drove in a couple of tractors and I just didn't like the feel on them. It was also nice to talk to Mike Schramke at Larry Stove Sand Tractors, Kioti Tractors up in Tennessee. So they had 2 locations, but they did a really great job with all of their YouTubes, and it was really nice because they showed their tractors in practical situations. They showed through a YouTube video kind of 3 different size tractors and picking up very large round bales, which is pretty practical for us, and what is safe and what you can get by with. They were really great there about kind of selling you the tractor that you needed, instead of a lot of places we went to, they would sell us the tractor that's the size of a house, and we just don't need that size of tractor, maybe later. But for right now, that's not what we needed. We needed something that can get in and out, that's powerful enough, that had the horsepower, but also kind of had the rideability, as we call it on the horses. And I just liked the feel of the tractor. I sat in the tractor, both Timothy and I did, and it was just felt comfortable. It's not super fancy, it doesn't have all the buttons and switches, it's not a hydrostat, so with the hydrostats, we decided to stay away from those because we lost, in the hydrostat it's nice because you just push a pedal, but you lose a little bit of your horsepower. So we went ahead and stayed with the shift because we kept a little bit more horsepower that we needed, because it's always nice to have more horsepower. We kind of went back and forth between a cab just because we live in Florida, and I mean, it'd be nice to have AC, and it's pretty quiet in the cabs, but we decided to steer away from the cab just because it's a little bulky, and since we're going to be doing a lot of maneuvering, because we are building or fixing up our old barn, hopefully building a new barn and doing fencing and all that stuff, because so kind of for our first, like, we have our old tractor in there, the Massey Ferguson, which is, that's our beast of a mower, but having something with the front end loader was really important. Mike Schramke, he did a really great job, and you know, coming near the end of the year, it being around Christmas time, he was very willing to kind of help us out and really help it, like, sell a tractor, which was nice. It's been kind of frustrating sometimes. A lot of tractor places are closed on the weekend, and my husband works during the week. So the only time we could go look at tractors was on the weekend.
Tell me, what's it like buying a tractor as a woman?
Oh yeah. So, I mean, I'm not like, I don't know everything about tractors, but I know stuff about tractors, and I've been around tractors. So being a woman and walking into a tractor store with my husband, it was always a fun experiment to see. Some of the things the men say are, I think they think they're being funny, but they're not. So it was really refreshing to have the fact that Mike, especially Mike Schramke, like, acknowledged women, which is good, because actually, like, as far as specs go, I know more about this than my husband does. It was nice to kind of be, you know, talked to and not be talked down to. It can be pretty frustrating anytime you're dealing with men in sales with machines. They tend to think that women don't know as much, but whatever. Tractors are cool, knowing kind of all the ins and outs of it and the horsepower and all the research and stuff about tractors. I like learning that education, so this was a really fun exercise, and I'm actually really excited. I like the tractor.
You used it today.
Yeah, we got some work done today. We filled in some water holes with gravel, and we used it today in helping remodel some of our old stalls that we had to put some gravel in, so pretty handy. And yeah, so pretty excited about it. It's a super easy tractor to drive. That's the thing too, with you've got your low and your high, you've got your gear shifter, and you've got the low gear to kind of do things around, and it stays pretty low, but it's pretty powerful tractor, so kind of nice. You know, your gas tank is down here, which is nice.
Where's the toolbox?
The toolbox is right behind
Some of the
seat.
tractors, they hide that toolbox. And the Titan, so the implement too, like this was pretty quiet. You didn't try it, but it was pretty cool.
We have a Kioti dealer right around the corner from us. It's always good to have
Great for
whatever
warranty
tractor
work.
you have. You need to make sure you have someone that can work on it. Got the tractor. We got our trailer with it. So got the whole thing to go with it, and
delivered. Bad Cat. Bad Cat was his name?
Bad Cat.
Bad Cat
Bad
delivered.
Cat delivered our tractor.
We're gonna do an unboxing.
Oh, we are unboxing.
Look at the treat
See
bag.
what our friends at was it Larry Stove Sand gave us, aka Mike Shrimp. Is it Mike Shrampke? Mike Shrimp? He packed for us.
Look at the weird dog right there.
That's weird. That's your toy. Just give it to Ty Ty. We got some good Coyote cups. Look, they made sure their phone numbers were on there, so in case we had some problems while we're drinking, we call them.
We're drinking water on the tractor.
Right. Clip for your keys. Keychain clip. That's handy. Another drinking tool. Nice and orange. You get your hat.
I love the Coyote hat. See, this was like a test. We didn't ask for our Coyote hats. We really, really wanted Coyote hats. And guess what?
A pink
And guess what? Coyote hats.
We got, seriously, orange Starbursts, orange Lifesavers, and mints. That's hilarious. That's
When we were signing the paperwork, all the highlighting was
orange.
and all the pen was orange.
Okay. Diesel fuel handling tips. This is handy. Handy. That's our little tag doohick that you put in there. Oh.
What is it?
This is, they need our reviews.
In an orange envelope.
Yep.
Tractor papers.
We will certainly do that. We will give them a review. Then we have our manuals and pens.
And we're gonna read them.
Yeah,
Before
front loader and the tractor. We're gonna glaze over those stickers. And that's it, our handy bag for all of our tractor stuff. Yeah, oh good girl. Oh, there you go. Up on seat. Pocky, up on seat. There you go. Good job.